Okay, welcome back to Taco Bowler Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler. We're going to continue our tutorial run playing through as Castile. And last time, we just got our first idea group, and we took Exploration, which I would highly advise. Honestly, if you're playing as Castile, Portugal, honestly, if you're playing as Morocco, I know people don't often do that, but that's a good one too. Kind of anyone down here. Even if you're playing in West Africa, it's not a terrible idea to start trying to colonize the New World. Exploration first. If you're playing France or England, because of how far away it is, exploration should be taken second. And you should take a military idea group first. But that's my 2 cents on that. So now we have exploration. What does that do for us? Well, it lets you, the quest for the New World, of course, lets you get explorers and conquistadors. So if you go over here to the military tab, now we have two new things that are newly made available. And that is a conquistador instead of a general, and an explorer instead of an admiral. We're going to start by recruiting an explorer, which costs 50 diplomatic power. So there it is. Sometimes you can get events for certain explorers. I'm sure at some point we'll probably get an event to hire Christopher Columbus, but I can't wait. And then I am going to go ahead and recruit a conquistador as well. That will cost us 50 military power, but it will be worth it. So now we have a explorer and we have a conquistador. What both of those do is, for the navies and armies respectively, is they let me walk into this gray area. So my navy can now kind of walk into, or sail, I guess, into this grayed out area. Well, that's great. Let's go ahead and head here. We'll put it on our navy here. We're going to do the explorer, and let's go out here. What will happen? Let's see what happens here. I actually don't know what's going to happen here. I may not have the DLC. Okay, well that's actually what you do. So you'll notice that our navy is out here, and it is taking 10% attrition because we are in open sea, so far away from our home. And so every month on the monthly tick, we take 10% damage, and this number will go up by that time at sea. So we start taking even more damage and more damage, and so you really need to get back before that is there. Honestly, I didn't expect that to work. So you don't want to extend out into the North Atlantic. You want to get a map if you need a map, and you want to be expanding toward Brazil. You want to be looking down here around Africa. So I'm going to bring that navy back to port and let it heal. If you have a certain DLC, I guess it's the El Dorado DLC, probably, then you need at least 3 light ships that your explorer is in that navy with at least 3 light ships, and then there will be a mission to explore something. But I guess we don't have that option. I've lost my admin advisor, so I'm going to actually take inflation reduction. That's really, really good. Because we have our gold mine, the inflation has been creeping up. So if you can get that advisor, if you get enough papal influence, that's really something you want to be doing. I'm going to use my diplomats while I'm at it here to improve relations with my allies. And then when one of those gets sent back, we'll go to the 4th ally, which was... Oh, Aragon's a junior partner. I don't care. So I can colonize here. And that's not a terrible idea because it's in the group. It's in the state, right? And so if I colonize here, then that'll probably be very financially beneficial to me. However, it's going to take my one colonist, and he's going to wrap it up for quite some time. So I don't think I'm going to actually do that one. I am going to go ahead and improve with my vassal, because why not? Or with my personal union. So instead, I'm going to try and find something a little further away that can get me closer to my goal, because this is honestly not that far away. And you do have something called Colonial Range. So I've got it teed up here for this Colonial, but I think it's in probably geographical map modes? No, it's not. What would it be under? Okay, so it's under economic colonial here. And that just tells me how far away I can go. So if you look here, I have a colonial range of 160. And the effective distance here is 27, which is how far away it is from this province, the center of the province to the center of the province. This, the effective distance is 150. This is also how far away you can core things, which also is how far away you can take things in wars. Which means if I wanted to take, say, Munster, I could. If I wanted to take Sutherland from Scotland, even if I was at war with them, I couldn't. So that's something to think about as well. So that's only an effective distance of 27. It doesn't really get us any further away. So we want to find something that's a little bit closer to that 160 number. So we're going to take our ships and we're going to start heading down the coast of Africa and see if there's something that we can find. Now, if you are really unknowledgeable about the map of the game, then I would actually suggest that you create a group of just a few ships or even just one ship. And I'm going to actually put my person, I'm going to go back to port, go back to my port here. Because, let's say, I'm not knowledgeable of the game. So, if you have the El Dorado DLC, you're going to need 3 light ships, and they will survive as long as your explorer doesn't die on the mission. Because you're just exploring places you can survive. It'll pop up, just like in Protect Trade, has nodes you can do. Explore is kind of that same way, and it's done by areas of the map. So in this case, it would say explore the West African coast in the sea, and then once that is done, you can explore the West African coast in the coastlines or North Atlantic, things like that. In this case, though, since I don't have that DLC activated, I just have to put my explorer on a fleet and go. And since maybe you don't know the coastlines, you don't know how far you can go and how far you can't go, I would suggest just put a cheap ship, in this case a cog, transport, and put that explorer on that cheap ship so that if it dies, you're not losing your entire combat navy. And we're going to head over here, and look, we have new stuff. We have a couple of new things. Now, I don't actually know how to reveal the land. Do I need to bring a conquistador first? I'm so used to not having to do that. Unless your unit is being led by an explorer or a conquistador, it'll be impossible to move your units there. Well, that's fine, but I want to have my land. Okay, so the effective distance is 113. That would be a lot better place to go. There also is, if you noticed there, that red there's a territory here. So I'm not really sure how to get that Tierra Incognita off. There's only one for sure way that I know how to do that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick up a person here. Now, this third idea in exploration is Colonial Range plus 50. So instead of 160, that number is going to go up right now. So we get Colonial Range plus 50. And so now our effective colonial distance is 240. So now maybe that's not the best place to be. I think it still is, but maybe not. Also, because we have 3 ideas, we've collected our first national idea, which is Army Tradition Decay -1, which is good, but it's not something you need to try and min-max. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 1 unit of infantry, and I'm going to put the conquistador on that 1 unit of infantry. I'm actually not going to do that, and I will probably run into the reason why. So I'm going to get 4 cogs. I'm going to bring them up, well, 3 to meet the 1, so that I have now a navy of 4. And I'm going to actually, let's combine, and I'm going to split 4 infantry off and put the conquistador with them. And I'm going to attach that to the transport. And then after the monthly tick and we repair our cog here, I'm going to take them out. And we will go over to here. The reason I do that is that every province, let's take a look here, has natives. In this case, 500, and their ferocity is 1. But that gives you a chance of the natives rising up against you. If you were to walk onto that province, you might find yourself in the middle of a battle all of a sudden. Oh, I wonder if it has to do with the size of the fleet. Because these suddenly revealed, and they weren't revealed before. Let's find out if that's the case. So I'm going to bring these together, and I'll just run up here and run back to activate, you know, hey, we've got a new ship here. Nope, still not the case. So we're going to do this transport, and we're going to land on this little area here, just so we have, you know, knowledge of it. And then we're going to land on this area here. And I'm going to make this fleet, when the army is on it, you can't do anything, but when they're not, you can. Bring them back to 4, and I'm just going to bring my fleet back home to there and not worry about it. So now I know that this is here. Now this has no natives, which is really, really good. And most importantly, this will let me, because it shares a sea tile with Jolof, it will let me fabricate a claim on Jolof, which is something I really want to do. Arguin also does that, but Arguin has a lot of natives. So if I were there, I would have to park a army. That 4,000 should be enough, because the natives will not be anywhere near as good of a quality as yours. But I would have to park an army there and hold on, otherwise there's a chance, and a good chance given the aggressiveness, that these settlers will rise up and siege my colony down, and when they do, they destroy it. They take, I think, somewhere near 3,000 or 4,000 settlers away, and if you don't have, or 300 or 400 settlers away, and if you don't have that many, you know, that's not good for you. But here, there are no natives living here, so they're not aggressive, they're not ferocious. I don't have to keep an army on this one. And, you know, it's going to extend our distance effectively 128, which is really good. So I'm going to send my colonist here. Now, he takes time to arrive in the location. Once he's here, he does not have to stay, but probably we want him to stay. I might not do that. We will see, given our financial situation. We'll see what we do. Now, we have this guy who will come up. Because I have a colonist, we might get colonial advisors, and this is the case. We did get a colonial range guy at +1, which is good. So this would extend our colonial range even further, and maybe we could actually get somewhere pretty good with that, but we're not going to worry about that. In this case, prestige is at 5, almost 5, and I could get an extra 10 prestige, or I could get 70 ducats, almost 71 ducats. In this case, unless if I was at negative 50 prestige or something like that, I would take the prestige, but I have, you know, positive prestige, so I'm not going to worry about that. I want the money. And I am going to go ahead and build some more churches, as many as I can, that are above that, you know, plus 7.2, I think it was. Now, I have claimed this land, so no one else can come over here. They're going to see, you know, the button will be blacked out for them. But, nice, there we go. But it won't actually turn yellow for me, turn Castile color, until I actually get over here in now 10 days. So now I'm here. So now the map, it turns Castile, it's mine. As you click on here, what we see is that I have currently 10 settlers that came with the colonist. Now I could recall the colonist immediately and send him somewhere else. And I might actually do that. No. But right now I have one colony with a maintenance of 100%, so 2. It is a base maintenance of 2. In this case 2.05 because of our inflation. If I had 2 colonists, I could produce 2 colonies at that 100% maintenance, so it would cost 4 to have 2 colonies. But since I only have 1 colonist at the moment, if I were to start a second colony, it would actually cost 2 for the first colony, and 4 for the second, and 8 for the third, exponentially growing out. So I have 4 ducats, but if I ever want to spend that money on anything else, such as, say, reinforcing armies, then I probably don't want to do that. And at this point, I would consider it's not a bad idea, to go ahead and recall the guy and send him over here, because, again, this is a state of mine, and so that would actually have some economic benefit. You notice this province gives us 0.47, this gives us 0.39, so it likely would produce a similar concept here. It's not a bad idea, but you are hamstringing yourself economically until that is done. So it's up to you. I actually think I'm going to do it, and I can show what what changes. So now you notice this is here, and it will still go up by 20 settlers a year. You see that's from technology, which was diplomatic technology, I believe. Settler chance, yeah. So from the diplomatic technology there, it's 25, and then no adjacent controlled provinces is -5. So when the colonist is returned, he returns in a single day, and you can send him out again. So we can send that guy right back out, and we'll send him to that place that is a state. I can now abandon, or I can let it grow. I'm going to just let it grow. You can see that every month, I think it is, there's a chance that our colony will basically take 100 from the natives, which will happen even if there's no natives, and add 100 settlers to the list. Right now it's a 12.8% chance. If you have a colonist present, then that chance goes up. Oh, hey, Denmark is going to give me 10 diplomatic power, and their opinion of me goes up. I like that. So you'll notice when this guy gets here, I'm going to go ahead and bring my army up here as well, so I can show you a few more of those things. Hey, unpause. So he has arrived, and there we go. Our army is in place. Now, if I go over here to the economy, you can see that that one costs me 4, because it's an additional 100%. Next one would be an additional 200%, so it would cost me, or 300%, so it would cost me 8, which I definitely would not have, unless I got rid of the mercenaries. So you can see here that they're building the colony, and I cannot abandon if I have a colonist present, but I have a new settler chance of 14.8 here because it's because the colony is there. I think the colonist should give a chance for maybe a different event, and then you get plus 25 from that, and because I have an adjacent tile, I actually have 2, then it actually does not decrease, so it will get 25 a year, the other one gets 20. Colonies grow faster if your actual colonist is actually in them. And let's face it, as much as I like this one because it has some economics, this is the one I care about because this will help me grow out into South America. So I'm going to recall from here, and I'm going to go 1 day, and my colonist is back, and I'm going to send him back to here if I can actually click. There we go. And we're going to send him back to this colony. And so he takes the time to travel there again, and that's based on from your capital. So if you want to really cheese that, you can move your capital out closer to the New World. It is important to note that you can fabricate off of a colony before it is done. So even though this is only a colony, I can fabricate on Jolof from it. And I will here when this gets to 20. And then you can theoretically just abandon that colony as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and wind up moving my army because I do wish to attack Jolof. Assuming Jolof is not Sunni, which they might be. They are. So they might be defended by the Mamluks as well. If they are, then I won't do that. But we shall see. I'm going to tell them to move my army automatically, and it will split my army because I don't have enough transports to move the whole thing, and then it will come back for the rest. My units suffer casualties while they're on the sea, but that was only a month's worth in this case, so it's not really that big of a deal. And we have converted Gibraltar. Now, this province is animist. You cannot convert while it is being colonized. And hopefully, if things work out the way they should, although it might actually require there to be a colonist present, they will convert naturally as we go, and they'll also get a better culture naturally as we go. Maybe not. We might have to fix that later. I'm going to go ahead and continue to try and convert these 4 provinces, so we will go ahead and convert the next one on the list. And that will further, because that one costs a little bit more, that'll further decrease the amount of money that I'm getting, but also some of that autonomy has gone away, so the money is going up, and also the inflation has gone down. Grenada and Separatists are coming up. Really? 9,000, and they will come up in Alimara. They'll come up somewhere over here. Well, since I know that Grenada and Separatists are close, it would behoove me to go ahead and bring that fort up for the same reason as in the last episode when we had a potential rebellion. I would like to make sure that that happens. We're going to bring the last 4 of the army over. I'm done with all of my allies, so I'm going to improve with my march as well. And I'm going to combine these armies back together for this purpose, and I'm going to fabricate a claim on the only thing I know of that is connected to this province by sea tile. And now I'm going to bring this guy back. Costs 23 days. And now I can declare war. The Mamluks would defend still. So this is going to be important, but it's not important right now. So I'm going to kind of backtrack from there. We're going to take those 4 back off and put the guy in charge there. And I'm going to use my entire navy to transport back up here. And essentially, now we're just waiting. Although, the Mamluks have declared on Quaraqailnu, which is a big nation. Who are you at war with? Is it just QQ? It appears to be just QQ, as we call them. So if they get some war exhaustion from that, if QQ starts to get in here and siege something down, theoretically, they could decline the call. It's something to really watch. But they are 34 away from declining that call. And Tlemcen they don't like as much. But they would be 26 still away from declining that call. So our separatists have fired. They fired here, so we're just going to go and defeat them. Shouldn't be a problem. 9 versus 17. So here we go. You do get events that sometimes give you stuff. In this case, we gain an explorer with 20 tradition. So that gives us too many military leaders. You have a certain number of military leaders that you can have. You can increase those through ideas and things. But at this point, we're kind of looking at, okay, these two explorers, which one is better? Looks like our new one is better. So we want to fire the old one, but we can't because he is currently leading a navy. So we're going to detach him from that navy, and then we can fire him. And then we'll go back to the navy. And we will put the new person in charge. Now let's take a look at this. Oh, hey, that is a heavy. Well, let's put it with the fleet. So I am going to redo where I just have those 4 cogs. Put my explorer there. And you saw explorer ready. That was the leftover from the DLC I was talking about, with all of that stuff that says, hey, an explorer is ready to do an exploring mission, but we don't have exploring missions anymore. So now I'm going to basically just be ready to attack Portugal in a couple of years. Let me see if Portugal's gained any allies. They are allied to England again, but England is severely weakened over here. In fact, they're not even a great power. Perfect timing for that. So with Aragon involved, I think we can defend from England landing anything, and it'll be no problem. I can get another idea. Now, it is worth noting as you go to take an idea, that is 400 power. That's not nothing. So you want to take a look at your technology and think, am I in a spot where I might be more wanting to spend that power taking a technology instead of an idea? For the most part, if you're taking an administrative idea or a diplomatic idea, you want to take the entire idea group and then go back and catch up on tech, because you get this, neighbor bonus, and the tech is cheaper. The idea group never gets cheaper, so that's something you want to do. The exception to that rule is if that would produce unbalanced research. So if I were, say, at military 6 and Diplo 4, and I knew, yep, I'm going to be taking military 7 soon, and that's going to create unbalanced research, then I would say, no, we're going to take the technology. But that's not the case. I'm only 1 behind. I'm about to fall 2 behind, but 2 behind is okay, so I'm definitely going to take the idea. So we get more global settlers, which is very nice, to be sure. And we just continue on. Let me take a look at the institution as well, as that should be spreading into my lands pretty well. It is not even close. It's getting close. You're kind of over here. The Papal State has it. Aragon is starting to get it. If Aragon embraces it, then it'll be right next to our doorstep and it'll come over. But it is a little bit frustratingly slow right now. Let's take a look at where we are here. So you can see that because we got that global settler increase plus 10, now we are up to 30 settlers per year. And if I had been able to attack Jolof like I had wanted, then we would have something nearby, but I couldn't, and that's one of the things with Europa Universalis 4 is that sometimes your plans do get thwarted. I've wanted to attack Tunis. I can't because of Mamluks, and for that matter, Ottomans. I want to attack Tlemcen. I can't because of Mamluks. Right? Sometimes your plans do get changed, they get thwarted, and you just kind of have to judge everything on the fly as is. Right? Portugal is allied to England, but I still think they're a valid target in my next war. But I don't think fighting the Mamluks is, because I want this land. I need this land for Portugal. I need this land over here. I don't need Tlemcen and Algiers land. I don't need Tunis or even Jolof. I want it, don't get me wrong, but I don't need it, so I don't need to fight those big guys. So it's always just a matter of, basing your decisions on where are we, what are we doing next. I hope that has been helpful. I'm Takabola Gaming. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe down below, all that usual stuff, and we will continue this campaign until we are set up in the new world. And I will see you next time.